Okay, we'll begin. We do ask if you are going to speak, if you would just come up to the lectern and talk, because we're recording, and if you're speaking from where Al's at, we can't hear you. It won't record. So, all right,
I'll start.
we will begin.
I'll start. I watched the last board meeting, and you had a bit of a discussion on strats. I have a long history with strats. I just want to caution you, the board members, he's going to be very hard to deal with, and he makes promises, but he doesn't follow through with them. I first met with him, boy, it's got to be 5 years ago. I went to his restaurant, and he wasn't there, but his staff was there. I talked to him on the phone from there with the mayor, being with Police Chief Lay, and the village manager at the time. Talked to him when he was down in Florida. And about 3 weeks later, he came up. We had made an agreement to meet with him here at the village hall. We met right back here in the COW room with his attorney and laid out all our concerns and our problems. And he and his attorney, they made some commitments that they would help get things straightened out over there. And some fines were talked about. I don't believe we ever really put a fine on at the time because we had no ordinance violations. So he made promises. About a week after that meeting, the attorney called us and said, just want to let you know I'm no longer representing him. And then off the record, basically saying he's not going to do anything you agreed to. And he didn't do anything. He's very hard to work with. And we have nothing, as you know, on our books that we can do about it. So my recommendation now, seeing that we don't have any ordinance, maybe we ought to take a look at our nuisance ordinance and see if there's something we can do, make changes in the nuisance ordinance to make him, his problem is he doesn't have a liquor license, doesn't sell liquor. And he says, I don't encourage these people to come. They do it all over social media, and then they just show up.
I thought he had a beer license. I
Pardon
thought
me?
he sold beer in there.
No liquor license at all. Never
Okay.
had one. So if he had one, we could yank his liquor license, but he doesn't, never had one.
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get into that position.
No, so the only way we're gonna, I think, go after that is making changes to our nuisance ordinance with the sound and the noise that comes off of his property. If there's, the question is it his responsibility if they're on his property, they've got record going to revving up their engines and bothering the neighbors, but they're just his customers, he doesn't technically invite them. So I would recommend the nuisance ordinance.
Yeah, we're looking, there's a ordinance that we're going to talk about on Monday regarding that.
I think you have to educate the rest of the board about the history with him. Unfortunately, the manager's gone, I'm gone, Chief Lay is gone, but the deputy chief probably has a little more.
Yeah, Dan's got it. Right.
So, but the board needs to believe you got to be tough.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to do anything that he's agrees to.
What about that settlement agreement he got into back in 20?
Yeah, it was back in 20. I don't know maybe the village has it. I don't remember everything that was in it, but nothing came.
Yeah.
Why was that never enforced?
I can't answer that because I was shortly out of office after that. So that's one problem I have.
Okay.
The next thing I've got for you. I watched the board meeting on Monday, like I said, 2 weeks ago. And there was I noticed on your agenda that there was a section there for the acceptance of the minutes from the Coffee with the Board. Now that's new. So, the little history of Coffee with the Board, some of you probably don't know, Joyce Stapija, when she was the president, she brought that up that the residents could just come and talk with their board members and tell them any concerns that we had. Then after she left, we had Tom Kellerton. Tom normally didn't come because he was working on Saturday, so he wasn't able to come. So after that, we met into the COW room. The people had come, and they bring up to the board members any issues they had with code enforcement or neighbors not mowing their lawns, you know. And then I think when I got to be president, then we had Bob Wagner was a trustee, he'd be there too, and he'd just make notes about it. But now I see that we have kind of like sort of formal meeting minutes. But I wonder, my question is, why do those minutes within recording have to be posted on the website, and the recordings posted on the websites? Because my point of feeling is that this meeting, this gathering was just supposed to be casual, give and take, back and forth, nothing that it would have to be actually on the website for everybody to see, because as you know, there's comments that are made by residents sometimes that maybe they'd rather not have. But you don't want to stop them from being able to say it, but maybe they say, well, I don't want to be recorded. But as you can see, we are being recorded.
Yeah, it was, well, actually Bob was the one that brought up about minutes,
Babu.
Wagner.
Okay.
And, you know, he would take the minutes, and then he said, it came up that because it's, you know, a public meeting and it's noticed, you know, 48 hours, that,
It's not really noticed because it's not a formal meeting.
yeah, but, you know, he brought that up, and then the attorney at the time said, well, yeah, it's probably true. And so then we started doing minutes, where we would publish the minutes. And then,
When did that start? There's only 2 minutes from 2 meetings on the website.
well, yeah, we were, I
Since
don't,
I've been here.
yeah, I don't think we were publishing them, but we were taking the
Yeah,
minutes.
they're published now.
Yeah, now they're published,
The
because,
last 2 meetings.
actually probably before that, because,
There's always been some
it,
sort of minutes,
Yeah.
but
And
it's the
another
publisher that
notes.
you're
Yeah.
talking about.
You know, I think
Yeah.
it was more, they were just supposed to be a casual thing with notes so that the village trustees and the president could follow up on them, you know,
right.
at their leisure. So,
Right.
but somehow this became more of a formal
Yeah.
gathering. So, but my concern was that, you know, when you do that, you sort of maybe squelch some of the comments and concerns people have.
Yeah, and that's,
also you've got a cost now.
yeah,
I don't think you're doing it for free, so. But that's
I
that.
know.
So, but that's, yeah, that's where I just have a little trouble with this being recorded and posted on the website. And, you know, the recording being posted on the website. If the trustees want to know what's going on, you could give them copies of your notes, they could show up.
well, that's what I was doing originally, after Bob, after I was elected, then I was taking the minutes, and then I would send them to the board.
Right.
Um,
But it's not an official meeting, you
Yeah.
don't have a quorum, you don't have, you know, of the board. I can't even remember the last time you had a quorum.
Yeah.
Maybe last time, I think you did it.
Yeah, we might
You
have
had
to,
people showed up later
Yeah,
last time. But normally there's just 2
yeah,
at the most, or maybe 3.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right, yeah, just curious, I was usually here.
so I just wonder where this is going, you know? If you know, this group here is not a official committee or commission of the village. I have trouble understanding why everything needs to be recorded and put on the internet. So, that's it.
I think you raise a good point. How does anybody else feel about that? Like, you guys come all the time. What are your thoughts?
I think you should take notes, but as far as publishing them, I kind of agree that some people will hesitate to show up. You know, I think the notes, and you guys can make an informal agreement amongst yourselves to pass these notes on. But as far as publishing, I mean, I don't care personally, but some might just be hesitant to show up or to say anything.
I think it's worth bringing up to the board, having some conversation on it, a little dialogue on it.
Yeah, they might be reluctant to express themselves more casually if it's.
Right.
Well, that's been discussions with the board is, you know, even like recording some of the commission meetings. You know, do you stifle some of the, you know, people's comments because it's being recorded, even if it's, excuse me, even if it's just audio recorded, you know, does that stifle?
But I think Al
people's
raises
comments?
a good point. This is a different kind of meeting than commission meeting where it's more formal, you've got notice, they're making some sort of decision.
And they're appointed, you
Right.
know, to the commission, and it's, the board's approved the members of it,
Right.
you know. So.
And you certainly don't have this back and forth, this informal aspect of it.
I'm not against the recording of it, I think for just general public, for you guys. I don't know how long you do the recordings. I don't think recording is bad, just publishing.
Yeah, we can bring it. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Al.
Yep.
Since I wasn't at the board meeting, can you tell us what business you were talking about?
Strats on North Avenue.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, they've been Friday and Saturday nights. They usually have car show. People just come in with their cars and motorcycles, and it's been well, how long? 15 years. Yeah.
You have to say people. You're talking hundreds
Yeah.
of people with their souped up cars and their motorcycles.
Now, you're not just jealous, are you?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, go there sometime. I've gone there, you know,
Yeah.
and sat across the street in the parking lot. It's all open. It's all, the neighboring, well, I won't.
Yeah. You know, the guys, you know, they're on their motorcycles. They're pulling wheelies down North Avenue, and you know, it's kind of crazy there. And then they park, you know, they're parking all over on the neighboring businesses, and so a lot of the businesses are upset because they're on their property. They're tearing up the lawn and stuff. And then the people in the houses behind them, south of them, you know, 10, 11 o'clock at night, they're, you know, racing engines and.
I have a video if you'd like to see it.
Yeah, there was that like 15-minute video that's been
Yeah.
going around.
I have a lot of them.
Yeah.
My son sends me his, just so you know. I shouldn't
We
say
don't
that,
have a
right?
business license in Villa Park, right?
What was that?
Yeah.
We don't have a business license in Villa Park. Like Elmhurst has a business license.
I don't believe we
Yeah,
can have
no.
it, we're not incorporated.
Right.
Mm.
And
I
it's
think-
because we're not home rule.
Yeah, I was gonna
Right,
say
that's
because
not
we're
my
not.
home rule.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine.
Christine Murphy. I have a couple things that I'd like status on, but as long as we're on the topic of strats, I'll speak, take the liberty to speak on behalf of Cheryl Tucker, because unfortunately she's out of town and unable to be here. But Cheryl's request is that as the board looks at any changes to ordinances or resolutions, that they keep in consideration that we do have multiple car venues. She suggested perhaps 3. It's not an area of expertise on my behalf, but she certainly doesn't want to see anything get pushed through at Monday's board meeting without being able to provide her input or resident input on any impacts that any resolution changes we might have on some of the other car show venues that have not been a problem in the past.
What car show venues are those?
I would have to get that from her. She was gonna.
Well, I know there's the one on Roosevelt that El Stash was doing.
She said there was one at the
by Sonic.
VFW.
Yeah, VFW does theirs once in a while.
The VFW in Sonic
Sonic does them
Sonic
on Mondays, I think, right?
does them, and there are towns around us who have car venues, Elmhurst, Lombard, Downers Grove, and they don't seem to be a problem. What I found interesting with this one last Saturday was on Sunday, the string of posts, primarily I believe on the Will and DuPage County scanner sites, had a very significant amount of information, which I thought was of value, that actually included the names of the sponsorships of these car venues, which again, I'm not familiar with. One, I mean, I have screenshots of them. Vicki, you may know who they are. The one where we had the problem last Saturday was Illinois Society of something, and I can get you that information. But there was also another one that was documented, and their name was something about militia. And the actual starter, or whoever the authorized owner of that group is, posted and said that he doesn't condone the actions of that Illinois Society. And there was a formal invitation to that. So the invitation, I would suggest, is not coming out from Strats itself, but it's coming out from whoever's running these car venues.
Yeah.
However, Strats was in communication with the police department and the village manager prior to the event, and we still had some significant issues.
What's the unintended consequence that you mentioned?
The unintended consequence, I don't remember mentioning. Oh.
Yeah, if, what Cheryl's worried about is if we pass an ordinance, like limiting the car shows that, the car shows that are okay are gonna be affected. You know, that they'll, we don't wanna shut them down, but still wanna be able to have teeth to go after strats.
Thank you.
Okay, yes,
Hi, Judy Worley. Nice to meet you all. And I had two things. One, just wanted to remind everybody that 625 East Van Buren in Villa Park is for sale. It's 3 acres in Villa Park, also in DuPage County. And we're looking for, it's a development site, and we're looking for someone who sees the potential in the property. We have the golf course right up the street, and we have Walmart down the frontage road. So.
is this right at the end there, at Frontage Road?
The dead end,
Yeah.
yeah. The sign's been up
Okay.
for a while now. We use Millennium Properties, which I think the village is familiar with.
Mhm.
Susan Silver is our realtor, and the number is 312-338-3001. So if this is being published, that's good. And if, I just was hoping to not have to mow the lawn again. It's a lot of,
What's the asking price of it?
well, we're negotiable, I mean, we always have been.
It's up on the MLS?
Hmm?
It's up on the MLS?
Yes,
Do you know what the price on the MLS is?
3 million,
Okay.
yeah. But we're, Susan, we're ready to deal, and I heard at a board meeting not long ago that the village is ready to deal. And so hopefully there's something that can be, something can happen there. But anyway, we see the potential in the property.
Is it, what's the zoning there?
I think it's still
It's still residential,
R1,
isn't it?
but I
Yeah.
think she spoke to Mr. McLaughlin
Mhm.
last year.
Okay.
So, single
Yeah.
residences, but there's some big houses down there.
Mhm.
So it'd be nice. If we could go out, we can't go out on Harrison, because that's been closed off. It would have been developed years ago.
Yeah, right, that's a problem there.
That's a problem, so it needs to come out probably over my house.
Okay.
And then the second thing is I also heard at a meeting this year, I think, that the minutes of the executive sessions that y'all were having were gonna be posted somewhere, maybe?
We review them every 6 months and then decide whether or not to post them.
I thought you voted yes, everybody said yes, let's do it.
Let's review them. Yeah, the executive session minutes, the board will vote whether or not to release them. It depends, because a lot of times things that we're talking about there can't be brought out to the public until, say we're talking about a development going on, we can't really bring that out to the public until it becomes public knowledge. So every 6 months we look at it and decide whether or not to keep it as unpublished or to publish them.
Okay, well, I got the wrong impression on that then. So does that, like the executive session, is that something where you, like, as a board member, you sign like NDA things?
No, we don't sign it, but everything that is in there is confidential. Everything that's discussed there is confidential.
Okay, all right, that's my thing, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I have a couple status questions. Can you tell me, is the metro station still under contract with the developer?
I think the last I heard was that they were not gonna proceed with the development.
Well, yeah, and that would be my understanding, but it was also my understanding that they had a contract on the actual metro station.
Well, there's a company that bought all of the metro stations. All, from Union Pacific. And whether or not they develop them,
Well, it could be a misunderstanding on my part. I thought the developer that was proposing the senior housing at the metro station had a contract on our Villa Park metro station, but maybe that's not correct.
I think at best you have an option.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's all been fine.
I guess
The
better
development,
question
the
is, does Villa
development
Park
that's go,
still-
yeah, the development that was going to go in there is not gonna go in, where they
Right.
propose, it's not gonna go in there. But I believe the stations are all under contract with UP to buy them all.
That was my question, whether there's still a contract, who owns the metro station?
I think right now it's still UP.
Okay, and so that contract, that property never closed.
Right.
Yeah, my other question is, what is our timeline and status on the apartment development that it was intended to go across from the rec center? Kind of villa,
Oh, the union?
Yeah.
We're still negotiating with them.
so there's no timeline on that.
We're hoping, oh, that was the words when I talked to Matt, I think the goal is to have an RDA with them by June, I think. And then if all goes well, they'll get the plans in and start, towards like fall.
But they own that property?
No,
Developer-
the village still
the
owns
village
it.
still
The
owns
village
the
still owns it. Right.
Okay, thank you.
I got another question.
Sure, Al.
I ride down Villa Avenue quite a bit, and that, now that Moore's bought the garden center,
Mhm.
and then across, Debbie DeVito owns that other building on the west side,
Mhm.
which has been sitting vacant, looking bad for a long time. Is that area still in a TIF there? And my reason I ask that, is there some way with maybe TIF money, we can get Debbie at least to fix the facade,
Yeah, she's been trying to get somebody in there, and I think she's waiting to do any kind of work until she gets somebody.
The problem is the building's in pretty bad shape.
Yeah.
That she's had other people interested. But if we could just make the outside look a little better,
Yeah.
because it brings down the whole appearance of that area. And now the same way with the seed store, just put some graphics on the windows or something, because now it just, looks like crap.
Yeah, you know what, I have not talked to, Sonny in a long time about what's going on with that. I gotta give him a call this week and see what his plans are. Cause the last I heard when I talked to him 6 months ago, was he wanted to wait until Bartlett was open. His Bartlett store was open, and then he would concentrate on Pioneer.
Something else, knock it down.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah, but Bartlett's been open for like 4 months now, so.
That area just needs,
Yeah.
that side of the street just
Yeah.
needs to be spruced up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
put some perfume on that pig.
What do they say about the sows there and all that? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just, since they were asking about all the other developments, did anything ever happen with the one on Princeton? And was it?
24 West, or
27.
27 West Park, yeah.
Yeah.
His plans are in for review into, community development right now. So he'll probably, I know that, I saw a machine out there last week, and it looks like they were disconnecting, sewer and water. So they'll probably be starting pretty soon.
So basically, he took whatever planning and zoning had, and then he built around those. Or does he
Well,
have?
planning and zoning had given him a couple of variances and denied a couple of the variances. And he ended up redesigning the building. He took off the top floor, so now it's only gonna be 3 instead of 4 stories, which meant his parking requirement was less, and he was able to meet that, because that was the one that, planning and zoning denied.
So does he still get those variances then?
Yes, yeah, because the board a couple of months ago approved extending the variance. Because he was, after a year, the variances, they expire. So it came to the board a couple of months ago, we approved extending the variances. So he'll probably start construction pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Want me to come up?
Yeah, just so we can, yeah.
Alright. No, I saw the pile there from Hawthorne Ecoterra, it's greening up.
Mhm.
I wondered what any word on that?
No word right now. We have sent him a letter saying, you know, he's in violation of the agreement, and we're waiting for a reply from him.
Well, they had green tarps, on the fence,
Mhm.
which have been ripped down and
Yeah.
stuff. Do people get in there, kids or anything? Is that like a problem?
I haven't had any reports of that. I haven't heard anything. Have you? Yeah, we haven't heard much, but we're constantly after him to get the fence back up because it falls down a lot of times. And,
Okay.
but we're starting to find, issue tickets on it
Mm-hmm.
to get him to do something.
Have we issued any tickets?
They've issued a couple, I think, for the for.
I haven't heard
For
that
garbage.
they've issued anything recently. And I
Oh.
think it's kind of a similar situation as Stratz. You let it go unfettered,
Mm.
and it just, people get more emboldened.
Yeah.
And they don't think that Villa Park will do anything about it.
Yeah, I have to check with Mark. I thought that, from the last I heard, I thought they were gonna start it, they had a couple tickets issued. But I'll check with them. Yeah, so,
Can you provide status on the old bridal shop on St. Charlie Road? There's been cars and lights on there again. And
would you would you mind?
what number should be called when those events are transpiring because the no occupancy stickers are still on the windows?
I spoke to Matt about that. Police thought that they had an occupancy permit, which they do not. And so anytime now, if there's anybody in there, police will go in there and either issue tickets or let them know. One of the things I told Matt, that Matt and I discussed this week, was informing her that she cannot have that, because I don't think, no one's ever really gotten to her and said, no, you can't do this. So I think did they contact her at all?
I don't know. I
Okay.
don't have the answer.
Don't they provide letters if they put a sticker on the window?
Yeah, when it's first put up there, but then,
Right.
It's been,
a long
yeah.
time. It's been a long time, and that's another one that looks pretty bad.
yeah, so hopefully they're gonna start, I think Danita was gonna look at that this week.
They're ripping up the street, doing something right in front of there. Is that through
Yesterday,
the
yeah, it
building,
just
or is that
started
through the?
Was that a water main?
You know,
Yeah,
I
think
don't
so. There's
know.
3 of them.
I just know that I
They're
saw
almost
the
right
big
parallel,
piles.
because
What's
there's
that?
one
Yeah,
at
big piles of
27
that.
East
Yeah.
Park as well.
Yeah, cause I saw somebody they had a machine out
27 East
there.
Park, the bridal shop, and then I think they did one right out here on Friday in the middle of Ardmore. They're almost right in line with each other in 3 different spots throughout the village. And while it appeared that was part of the 27 East Park construction, I'm not sure I believe that to be true. I think it was maybe perhaps a water main. And they're all on the sidewalk, so the one at the bridal place was also on the sidewalk as opposed to in the apartment.
Yeah, that's, I thought that was a water main break,
It
but
could be 3.
it could have been, yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thanks for all coming. Everyone, take some donuts, there's plenty of them.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.
Yeah. Enjoy the weather today.
Our mallards are back. We've had mallards lay eggs in our yards in about
Oh,
7
really?
years, with the exception of 1 year.